I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the most mysterious aspects of the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with Rey's lineage and exactly where she comes from in this story by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So one thing about Episode 9 that a lot of people are very excited about is, of course, exactly how J.J. is going to utilize Rey's identity in Episode 9 and exactly who she's going to be connected to in this movie that's really going to cause saga-wide implications. Now, we do know that there are a lot of connections to the prequels and the originals in The Rise of Skywalker, which is really going to make it feel like a very unique and original film. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to one of the plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew, and one of the set leaks and concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that during the rewrites of the film between Abrams, Lucas, and Terrio during the months of November and December of 2018 was to adjust the characters of Palpatine and Rey and how they would be used within the third act of the film. It's described that one of the big changes was to add a strong connection between Palpatine and Rey during the third act of the movie, and that many pieces of dialogue by Rey for the first and second acts of the film would be used as foreshadowing of Rey's connection to Palpatine. Additionally, it's said that 3 of the moves that Rey uses during her battle against Kylo Ren are the same moves as Palpatine's in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It's described that one of the scenes involving Rey when she confronts Palpatine is that she senses a familiarity between herself and Sidious within the second act of the film when she encounters the Spear of Sidious. It's described that one of the scenes in the third act between both Rey and Palpatine was a scene filmed where Daisy Ridley was delivering dialogue to Ian McDiarmid, where one of the lines contained Ian telling Rey, "My daughter." Though Palpatine in the expanded universe called many female Force sensitives his daughter, it's a hint of Rey being related to Palpatine or a creation of Sidious himself. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, I want to hop on the biggest hint of all, where, of course, Ian McDiarmid was said to use a line of dialogue as Palpatine when he's talking to Rey where he calls her "my daughter." Now, there's a moment in the expanded universe, and you can really see the parallels, where there's a moment where Palpatine actually speaks to Leia and calls her "my daughter." So it could very well be just something around the lines of that, but still at the same exact time, this by far is one of the biggest hints of all about Rey having some form of a connection to Palpatine and being related to that character. After all, a lot of people have been suggesting something to do with her accent or the moves that she's going to use in The Rise of Skywalker is all said to have a lot of similarities to Palpatine's moves in, of course, the Revenge of the Sith film. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is how a lot of the rewrites that took place during the months of November and December of 2018 was to create a strong connection between both Rey and Palpatine. Also note what we actually went over a couple of weeks ago is that Palpatine was watching over Rey on the world of Jakku ever since her birth and ever since she was on that world. Now, what really does intrigue me the most about this, alright, is how one of the actual sequences involving both Rey and Kylo Ren is that 3 of her lightsaber moves are said to be very similar, actually the same, that Palpatine uses in the Revenge of the Sith movie. Now, when you look at everything of what's coming together for this film, we do know that J.J. Abrams actually said that Rey's identity reveal is really going to be a major, saga-wide implication in the Skywalker saga. There is more to the story of Rey's parents. We're still not quite sure if the parents that we have been talking about for so very long now are even her true blood parents or if they are just her adoptive parents, right? If they just adopted her. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is that it's said that, of course, one of the sequences that were filmed included a scene in the third act between both Rey and Palpatine where Daisy Ridley was delivering dialogue to Ian McDiarmid, and this is said to be a moment in which Rey feels a familiarity with Palpatine during her confrontation with the Spear of Sidious that is within the body of the Dark Acolyte. Why would she have a sense of familiarity with that character? that really does raise a lot of questions for sure. So all of these hints and indicators adding up to Rey being related to Darth Sidious / Palpatine himself is very intriguing. We do know that Rey's identity is going to have a massive saga-wide implication on one of the legacy characters, ranging all the way from Luke, Kenobi, or even Emperor Palpatine. You know, you can really see exactly where this movie is going, is that at the end of the day, it's a revelation film. It's going to be a movie that's really going to shock the audience and change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films, which, like I've always said and expressed before, it could be a very bad or a good thing. It's all really dependent on how it's going to be expressed by J.J. Abrams, how it's going to be utilized and executed on the big screen. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.